Okay, so let's have a look at these. There's two questions here. Graph the linear function f of x equals 2x minus 4 by plotting the intercepts. Now these are, remember in the lesson 5.7 where the questions jumped from 1 and then to 3 and 2 was missing? This is the one that goes in like there. Okay, so this is the question 2 from that missing one. So this is a continuation of 5.7. We've talked about graphing a lot already, right? We've been graphing, we've been talking about horizontal intercepts, vertical intercepts, right? Okay, so horizontal intercept, is that the x value or the y value? That's the x value. All right, that runs along across here, right? That's the horizontal intercept. Now, what can you tell me is the value of y anywhere along the horizontal intercept? Okay, so I'm going to write x intercept. Okay, so the y value is equal to 0 at that point. What we want to do is find the x value when y is equal to 0. So instead of f of x equals 2x, what am I going to write? 0 equals 2x minus 4. All right, so how can I isolate x? Add 4 on both sides, and then divide both sides by 2. So I get 4 equals 2x, and divide by 2, and then 2 is equal to x when y equals 0. All right, so let's find that on my graph now. So that is going to be, whoops, right here. If I want to label this nicely, I almost said wable. If I want to label this nicely, how can I show? Bracket 2, comma, 0, bracket. Okay, so that labels my coordinate point. Your x value goes first, and then your y value goes next. Okay, so what can we figure out now? We need to figure out the y-intercept. What do I know about the y-intercept? So this is the vertical. X is equal to 0 all the time over there. So now x is equal to 0. So now let's take our y equals 2x minus 4, and I'm going to plug in x equal to 0. So y is equal to 2 times 0 minus 4. What is the value of y? Y equals minus 4. When? What's the value of x here? Okay, so where on this graph am I going to find y is negative 4? So this is 0. Then I go down, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Let's label that coordinate point. 0, comma, negative 4. I need to make sure I have brackets around it. Okay. There. Okay. Now, what do I notice is the pattern here? I go up 2 units and over 1, up 2, over 1, up 2, over 1. And I could kind of continue that pattern if I wanted to get more dots, right? Or more points. So that when I'm drawing my line, I can use a ruler and go through each one of those points. Make sure you have arrowheads at the end so that it shows that you continue on either end. And there's your line. Please use a ruler. Yes? Do you have to write your work? How much of it? You could probably figure it out with a lot less than I wrote down. Perfect. Good. Yeah, you don't have to show every single little detail like I did. Okay? You could also just look at this equation here, and you see how this is the constant term? Yeah. That is what? What did that turn out to be? That's your y-intercept. So -4, if you notice that right here, y-intercept, -4. Boom. Done. No work shown. Okay? But I think it's important for me to tell you about the values of x's and y's at each location so you can make that connection. Okay. Let's have a look at the next question. Same idea with the next question, just a different question. What can you tell me about this graph, what it should look like compared to my previous question? What can you tell me about the slope or the rate of change of this one as compared to the previous one? The number in front of the x is negative, so that means this is going to be going down. Right, so it's going to be sloping, like it's going to be going downhill this way instead of uphill, which the question before did. Okay. Let's plot the intercept. Hey, let's show less work for plotting the intercept, the y-intercept. That's the easier one to find? What's the y-intercept? 0, 1. The y-intercept is that constant term, which is +1. Okay, so my coordinate point at this guy here is, so that is right there. Let's label it on my graph just because it's always a good idea to label.
Can I borrow your keys for a second? It's like you can see in the future.
We can relive this moment again and again. Okay, now here, what about my x-intercept? What's my x-intercept? Okay, I'm going to have to do a little bit of work for this. Okay, so what do I know about my x-intercept? Y equals 0 for my x-intercept. So then I set 0 equals -3x plus 1. And I would say show your work, show your steps for this, because you don't want to make a silly mistake until you're very good at solving these kinds of equations. So we are going to subtract 1 on both sides. I end up with -1 equals -3x. What is x, folks? X is equal to 1/3. I'll try that again. Okay, so that's somewhere right here. Okay, so I'm going to label my x-intercept here. 1/3, comma, 0. Okay, those points are a little close together, right? Yeah. Can we plot a few extra points just so that we get a nice graph? And how would I find another point or more points from, let's say, from this one, from the y-intercept? It's always good to start at the y-intercept and then find another point from there. So where would I go from here? Where do you think it's going to end up? Go down 3, and then right 1. And so I could put another point here. Okay, how about if I wanted to go in this upper direction? Where would I go? So I can go up 3 and then left 1. So that's running my slope in the opposite direction, right? Okay, so now I'm going to try to connect these dots without a ruler. You guys use a ruler. I can't use a ruler on this thing. I can, but then it's gonna be all like, oh boy. It's gonna. Okay, let me try something here. Let me try to make it a little better.
Wait, if you switch the pen over, it erases?
Yeah, if I switch it over, it erases. Okay, there. That looks better? Okay, sweet. Excellent. Hey, let's label this point just for fun.
No, that's too much.
It's too much fun, I know. You have to try to contain it. Okay, so what is this point going to be? -1, comma 4. Okay, that was awesome. How about even for more fun? Let's label that point. 1, -2. Look how much fun we're having. Okay.
Too much fun.
Woo! Okay, so that's it. All right, graphing using intercepts. Perfect.